Good morning, students. Welcome to the class on pericyclic reactions. We were discussing 2,3 sigmatropic rearrangements. So in that we have seen allyl amine systems, allyl sulfur system. Now we will see allyl oxygen systems, which is nothing but oxygen halides. And this reaction is called as Wittig rearrangement. What is this Wittig rearrangement? And if we have some additional group, then if we treat this with some strong base, then what happens? It generates a negative charge here. Then we can give the numbering. It is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is allylic carbon. So oxygen is there, allylic oxygen. It is 1, 2. Then it undergoes 2, 3 sigmatropic rearrangement. There will be a bond formation between 2, 3 systems. There will be a bond breaking between 1, 1 system. So we can polarize this negative charge towards the double bond. Then double bond will be polarizing like this. So this will be breaking towards oxygen, so that oxygen becomes negative charge. So at the end of the reaction, we will add water, so it picks up a proton. So what is the product here? When we are writing the product, we don't change the carbon skeleton. Then what we will do, we will write the bonds which are forming. We will also form a bond here. Then oxygen minus will pick up a proton, so it takes, again it rearranges to become homoallylic. Okay, right. But when substituents are there, see here we don't have any substituents, but when substituents are there, then how do we predict the stereochemistry of the products? Okay, one thing is, most of the time this double bond is E double bond. Okay, right. I'll give you an example for this, and then we will see how the stereochemical outcome can be affected in a 2, 3 sigmatropic rearrangements. Right, this is treated with butyl lithium, potassium tertiary butoxide, when it is, this reaction gave 87% yield, and in that we have two products. This is isopropyl group. So first I'll give the products, okay, then I'll explain the stereochemical outcome. OH. So out of the 87%, 97% is cis product, and remaining 3% is trans product. This is 3%. Now how do we expect whether it will give a cis or trans? Okay, right. First point is, this double bond, it is almost E double bond. There is no doubt in that. Okay, so that double bond is always E double bond. Then how do we predict the stereochemistry of these substituents? Now these 2, 3 sigmatropic rearrangements will have a 5-membered transition state, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when 5-membered ring is there, it is most stable in envelope conformation, right? So what we need to do to predict the stereochemistry of the products, we will take the envelope configuration, then we will place the substituents and explain how this will give the predicted stereochemistries. Right. So when we want to predict the stereochemistries, please write this structure in this form so that it will be easy for us. That means allylic oxygen will be this side. Okay, right. This is the double bond. Envelope, of course, not right? I'll first take the products, then I'll explain the stereochemical outcome. Because these 2, 3 sigmatropic rearrangements have 5-membered ring conformation. The 5-membered ring conformation is most stable in envelope configuration. I'll write once again. Envelope configuration. So we need to write the envelope conformation for the transition state. Then we will see how they'll give the given stereochemistry. Right. So here, this is the double bond. This double bond. Then what we need to do, we need to give the Z group below the plane. That means substituent. Then hydrogen, of course, this will be this side. So it is the E group. So when we are writing the substituents on the double bond, Z group must be given below the plane, E group must be given above the plane. So according to the stereochemistry of this double bond. Then we have this carbon, and on the carbon we have isopropyl group above the plane. Then we have oxygen, and also we have this negative charge here on this carbon. Right. Now, how do we write the hydrogen and this alkyl group? See, when you want to write the products here, we need to write these two groups, hydrogen here and then this alkyl group. If this alkyl group is just an alkyl carbon moiety, then we will place this below the plane, hydrogen above the plane. We will place this below the plane, hydrogen above the plane. So when we draw a straight line from here to here, you can visualize that it is a envelope conformation. It is an envelope conformation, right? I think I'll rewrite it. Okay. So what we will do, we need to write envelope conformation. So we will place the double bond here. Whatever the Z substituent is there, we will place it here. Whatever the E substituent is there, we will place it here. Then of course we have isopropyl group above the plane. Then oxygen, and we have this. So when we write like this, you can see it is an envelope structure. Then what we will do, we will write simple alkyl group below the plane and hydrogen above the plane. You can write like this, or you can also write like this. Okay, right. So after rearrangement, what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right. So this negative charge will be polarized like this. Double bond will rearrange. Then this 1-1 bond will break down. Right. Now, while writing the product, what we need to do, we again write this. See, this methyl group is below the plane. So that is why this methyl group is below the plane. Hydrogen is above the plane. Of course, we don't need to mention it. Then this alkyl group is below the plane. Yeah, this we need to change, right? Okay. So I'll write the product and explain. Isopropyl group. So this is 1, 2, 3. We have hydrogen above the plane, methyl group below the plane, like this. This is below the plane. Yeah, while explaining this, I have, yeah, this is not the below the plane. Of course, we have placed it below the plane, but when we are writing, it must be in the plane. Then hydrogen, which is above the plane, oxygen is away from the observer, so it is below the plane. So this is how we need to write it. Okay, when you write it, then you can convert into this form. Right, see. So as I said, it is always E double bond. Fine. We have isopropyl group on the E double bond. Then we have hydrogen above the plane, methyl below the plane. Yes, hydrogen above the plane, methyl below the plane. Then in this, this is alkyl group is in the plane, hydrogen above the plane, OH below the plane. Okay, this hydrogen and oxygen we can directly predict from this conformation, because this hydrogen is above the plane, oxygen we will place it below the plane. This group, it is always, when you look at this, it looks like zigzag fashion. So this is always in the plane. Yeah, two more points to add here. These two substituents are almost cis or syn. These two substituents are almost cis or syn in all the cases. And second point, if this is a simple alkyl group, if it is a simple alkyl group, then it follows endo rule. It follows exo rule. During Diels-Alder reactions, we said endo-exo rule. If the group is having some additional pi bonds, then it follow endo rule. Here, if the group is having C double bond O or C double bond N, then it follows endo rule. That means nearer to this pi system should be above the plane. Okay, that I'll give later. But here it doesn't have C double bond O or C double bond N. It follows exo rule. That means away from the pi system, away from the pi system. That means 1, 2, 3. Away from this system. Nearer to this is above the plane. Away from this is below the plane. So it is what is called exo rule. Okay, right. I'll give you two more examples on this. You can easily predict the stereochemistries. When this is treated with n-butyl lithium, minus 78 degrees centigrade to 0 degrees centigrade, and finally we are adding ammonium chloride at the end of the reaction. Then what happens? N-butyl lithium, butyl minus, will attack on silicon, so it generates anion on carbon. Okay, so butyl anion, butyl minus, will attack on silicon, CH2 minus will be generated. So this is CH2 minus oxygen. So when we go for numbering, it is 1, 2, 3, it is 1, 2. Then we can clearly see from the stereochemistry of this oxygen, because it is above the plane, here also when it is forming a bond, it should be above the plane. Of course, these carbons are not involved in the reaction, so they will not change. Then when there is a pi bond between 1, 2 systems, and this CH2 will be coming here at third, and because oxygen is above the plane, this entire molecule moiety will be above the plane, so here also it will be above the plane. It is CH2, sorry, it is CH2, then we have OH. And similarly, in the next example, you practice this stereochemistry. TMS. Sorry, this is TBS. TBS. TBDMS or TBS in short. When it is treated with butyl lithium, THF minus 78 degrees centigrade. Yeah, in the previous case, what we have said is butyl anion will attack on silicon so that it generates CH2 minus. But in this case, it will not attack on silicon. Instead, it will attack on propargylic system. So when we go for numbering 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it generates anion here. So it will pick up this proton. Butyl lithium will pick up this proton. So it generates anion here. It will not attack here. Okay. So here what we are getting is propargyl anion. This anion will undergo Wittig rearrangement, and the product is here. The stereochemistry is like this. You practice how these stereochemistries are coming. Okay, one thing this we can clearly say, because a large group is there below the plane. So this molecule will approach this 5-membered ring from above the plane. So this must be above the plane. That is why hydrogen is below the plane. And you can predict the stereochemistry of OH. Okay, when we go for envelope conformation, you can predict it. In the next example, we have this phenylamine, chlorophenylamine. When it is treated with sulfur reagent, because chlorine is a good leaving group and sulfur is a good nucleophile, so it will attack on nitrogen by expelling chlorine. So what we are getting is because sulfur is donating electrons, it gains the positive charge. When sulfur is in positive charge, the next carbon we can say it is acidic carbon, so the protons on this carbon can be easily picked up. So whatever Cl minus which is leaving here now will pick up this proton and then generates the halide required for 2, 3 sigmatropic rearrangement. So it generates the highlight here. Now this undergoes 2, 3 sigmatropic rearrangement. Of course, you can write the product. Okay, I don't. You can give the numbering 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2. So there will be a bond formation between 2, 3 systems, and there will be a bond breaking between 1, 1 systems. Again, I'll give the product. Okay, I am missing one intermediate, so you try to predict that.